welcome to cosplay class. It's Halloween! I'm gonna teach you guys how to make a 90s nostalgia-rific costume of Rocko from Rocko's Modern Life for all of your Halloween party goodness. So, let's go do it. Ow, ow, a candle. Halloween's dangerous! So for the shirt, I used a Port Authority women's work shirt from Amazon, which you can order on there, super easy. I'll put the link in the description. I also used a piece of foam to make the triangles. I put paint on the back of it and then just stamped it around to make the different triangles on the shirt. But if I were to do it again, I would actually use a cutout stencil like this, because I feel like if I taped it down and did it with a brush, it would be a lot more even. So there you go, do whichever you please. For the head and ears, I bought this crazy wig because I thought it was cute, and you're welcome to wear a wig if you want to. No one says how you should wear this costume. And for the ears, all I did was I made them out of Warbler, and then I covered them with fleece and airbrushed the inside a little bit. If I were to make them again, I would just pattern them out and then stuff them and do a little wire on the inside, because the Warbler is actually a little bit heavy and I didn't really need that much reinforcement. For the tail, you're going to need some tan fleece, some stuffing, and some elastic. Also some thread to sew it together, or a sewing machine. So for the pants, I bought nude leggings from American Apparel. Because we're dealing with a cartoon character, we don't really know what his legs look like, except for he doesn't wear pants. So there you go, nude pants. You could make them if you wanted to, but American Apparel sells them. So for shoes, I found some cheap flashy shoes. They were like 20 bucks from a really cheap clothes store, and they're big, so they give me like a cartoony feet kind of look, and they have Velcro on them, which is what the 90s loved. Because his ears kind of sweep backwards, we want to put a wire inside of it, but I'm just going to do the main shape right here. I'll make sure to leave room for, obviously, your hem. So I'm going to cut two of those out and then just sew them together and show you how it'll look when I add a little bit of stuffing to them. So I have a length of armature wire right here, and this is actually just aluminum armature wire, so it's a little flimsy, but it doesn't need to be like made of freaking steel. It's okay. So I'm just gonna stick that in my ear, like so. And then I'm just gonna take little bits of stuffing, just stick them up in there with like a paintbrush or whatever you can find. If you want to, you could even make this whole costume out of like scrap shirts. Like if you have a blue shirt, use that for the shirt. You don't even need to buy one. If you have some old t-shirts that are like tan, use that for his tail and his ears, and then it doesn't cost you anything. Here's the ears that I made, which were made out of Warbler, and they kind of sit, like again, they're a little heavy, so I usually have to pin them into my wig. I just made one out of cloth and wire, out of an old t-shirt. So if you had a tan t-shirt, this would work amazing, and I just made one like that. Twist the ends up, and I would sew this little, hand sew this bottom up, and you've got something with a little armature to stick onto a headband like that. You'd either sew the ears to a headband, or you would attach them with wire to a plastic headband, and you've already got the wires coming out of them, so you're good to go. So for the tail, I did it the same way that I did the ears. I looked at Rocko's tail, I patterned out two pieces of fleece, and then just sewed it together in the shape of the tail. And how I get it to stick is I actually put it around my waist. I don't put it on belts or anything, because that doesn't give the tail someplace to brace itself. You make sure, if you're going to have a tail, that you put elastic or a strap or something around your waist under your costume. So I have a piece of elastic that goes under my costume. I just stuck a hole in it because it's fleece and it doesn't fray. And I put the elastic through it, and then I hand sewed it a little bit to the elastic because I needed to have a little bit of reinforcement. And you pretty much just stuff the tail with stuffing, and then you have your tail. Hold on, let me stuff this tail. I didn't even sew it up, it hides under my clothes, so it's a little tail. You can see this is where the tail comes through, because it's long enough to be a dress. And I just hemmed the edges a little bit with the zigzag stitch so that it didn't fray. And I just stick the tail through that from being around my waist, and then you've got a tail, and it's totally hidden, and it's super easy. So for the nose, I use the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, and I use this all the time because it's literally just like using a marker on your face, so it's easy for like people that are bad at makeup like me to just draw on their face with a literal marker. I mean, don't do that, that's toxic. But anyway, I'm just gonna add a little nose because Rocko has a cute little nose. Ah, my ear! Now you know how to make your own 90s cartoon inspired Halloween costume with an adorable tail and ears and a wonderfully weird shirt. There'll be more Halloween videos coming up, so stay tuned for all the spoopiness. I'm really sorry. I don't know. Just lightning. Just do some lightning or something.